Hey, I'm Paul Rogalski from Mojo's Music Academy. Joining us today here is Doug Johns and Chris Ceja from Ohio. They're doing some events for us this weekend, so we're going to talk to them and see what's going on. These guys have a couple CDs out, and so hey guys, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah,
what's going on?
This is great.
All right. So you guys go around the country doing clinics and performing for different events and stuff. What are you doing here in Longmont? What's going on?
Yeah, what are we doing here in Longmont?
Longmont.
No, we've been this whole summer we've been traveling across the country doing rhythm section oriented clinics and gigs, and we found the bass player group right now is just a really tight group. I kind of liken it to where a guitar was in the 80s. Bass players stick together, they're a good group of people, and it's all about the music and the hang and the groove, you know. And
cool.
You put on these events, and we love coming out here, you know.
How do my events, I guess, at Mojo's compare to some of the other events you guys have done?
You're organized, Paul.
Organized.
Did you say that, Chris?
Am
I would say absolutely
organized.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
I mean, with any event, no matter what it is, it's got to be organized, and your stuff is always organized from you know, planning the day, because hey, we love bass, but listening to bass all day, it's wearing and tearing, you know.
Yeah.
It can, so planning the event so it flows, you know, like you'll do lessons earlier in the day, kind of a break, a clinic midday, a show at night. It's the pacing and the organization of the event that you do differently than most.
You got the whole flow down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's completely organized from start to finish. So
Cool.
it's great.
And you don't need to be a bass player to come to it, you know. I mean, just if you're a music lover, that's the whole deal. You know?
Absolutely.
Appreciation for the rhythm section.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cool, man. I love it.
Cool.
Good promo, you know, ahead of time. I mean, all the necessary, you know, avenues that you got to take, and you,
internet, you know, you can,
you hit as much stuff as you can, and make sure you get people, you know, to come out and see us, and you know, you get students lined up for a couple days. I mean, it's like amazing.
Cool.
It's amazing.
We're grateful, man.
This is what we do. It's all we do.
All right.
We play music, so you gotta
plan
take care of people. So it's great. Loving it.
Oh, cool.
Loving it.
So you guys aren't necessarily a band or a solo act, which is like a lot of stuff that's going on at these clinics and things nowadays. But you guys definitely causing a buzz in the bass community. So what is the mission of the, I guess we call it the Doug Johns duo, right? Is what we're,
we picked that up somewhere.
Yeah, right. Pretty much, I drive.
You drive.
Doug plays bass and drums.
Right. Well, I mean, like mission statement wise, it's just Chris analogized this years ago with if we build it, they will come. You know?
Excellent.
And it works. It sounds simple, but that's it. And the funny thing is, I mean, we've been doing it for years. It's just now, since solo bass, whatever you want to call it, you know, just getting out there with just bass is more accepted, and people are digging it. We're just doing what we've always done. You know, we always jam and create that way. You know, and
I mean, it's a very selective thing. You know, I mean, you know, jazz and some of this different kind of, you know, alternative stuff. You got to create your own thing.
Yeah.
You can't sit around waiting for record deals.
Yep.
And,
or the perfect scenario to happen.
Right.
You know, where, and there's not venues anymore. You know, so guys like yourself, you know, are making it happen.
I mean, you've done the same thing. You've done the build it and they will come.
Right.
You know, I mean, you know, you can't open some giant place with like 1 million rooms and suddenly you have this amazing store and academy.
Right.
I mean, it starts with small, and you got to do it. You know.
And I mean, financially too, we love touring and have toured with big bands. It's a tough road. It's a tough road. And as a duo right now, you know, Chris is a multi-instrumentalist he plays with the sampler and he brings our horn hits with us.
Oh, okay.
You know, so we have some other, you know, musically there's different soundscapes to it.
I mean, there'll eventually be a trio, and you know, it'd be nice to have. You know, more instrumentation right now, but you know, right now it's working out great as a duo. You know, I recommend.
And I think we've learned a lot from it too. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
We learned that, you know, hey, I love bass too, but you know, 1 million notes of bass all night and drums, it's not musical. You know? It's got to be musical and get you grooving, get your neck moving, and that's what it's all about. Yeah. Song first, you know.
Song first.
So then maybe if people come see you guys and they go see another band, their favorite band at a gig or something, maybe they're going to hone in more on the bass and drummer and see what their interaction. They get a little more appreciation for the that side, you know. So how about your writing process for your music? Do one of you guys contribute more? Do you guys feed off of each other? You know, how does that all come about?
Well, I think a lot of people know, if you followed Doug for years, you know, you'll know that he plays a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I've been there probably longer than anybody, other than our friend Mark Leach, who's a mutual friend, organ player, killer player. But you know, from the drumming side, yeah, Doug will show up and he'll have all these crazy bass lines, and what we start doing is we start just taking them and organizing them into, you know, why don't you try this here and that one over there, and before you know it, you know, we have a song, you know, and we both hash it out. I mean, yeah, it's always a process, but it always seems to work itself out. Some things are quicker, some things happen immediately, some things happen live. But we'll throw a lot of stuff on tape first, you know, and how's that sound, huh? You know, every once in a while there's a cut and paste. Hey, why don't we take the beginning of this? It will sound great over here, you know. But you know, it's great when you got something great to work with. Yeah, you know what I mean. So
I couldn't have said it better myself. Chris really explained it. It's, we always stay under the umbrella of improvisation. You know, we're improv. You know? But we're not afraid of the spontaneous moments, and we're not afraid to drill something to death to get it right.
Sure.
But I think it comes from me and him just always playing and allowing the music to happen.
I'd say one thing too that's really important is that never in like 20-some years you and I have been playing together, we've never ever once said, well, you know what, we need to really write something that those people can listen to, and that demo wants to hear. What about the record people? They really never. There's not one single note, not one single note on any songs that you hear on these CDs and future CDs.
And sometimes a lot of dirt comes with
that intent.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's not perfect recordings. You know, it's you get the truth.
The grease.
That's what we call just the truth. We've never once compromised, you know, the integrity of the songs. Not one single note. So what you hear is what comes out of us. You know, like it or not. You know.
And like Chris said too, like live, you know, we always try to keep that element like, here's the arrangement, but you know what, we could go here or go there if we wanted to. You know.
Yeah, you'll hear a lot of differences live, you know, as a duo compared to the CD.
You got to get naked like that. You know, you got to mess up to learn. You know.
Yeah.
We don't play naked.
Yeah, we don't play naked. We don't want that.
Technically,
yeah, you do.
Musically naked.
Sure, right. It's out there. We just, you know,
we're not doing that on this gig, Paul.
Oh, wrong gig.
right.
So that, I think a lot of that all comes to you guys playing for 20 years together, right? So you can take chances, and you know, it's really important to.
I always call Chris the other. Chris is the other half of my brain, and I really mean that because where if he's really good at knitting things together, you know, say if I come up with a groove and another groove and another groove, and I throw them at him, he digests it and he says, "I think if we did this, you know, took that groove and." He's really good at you know, arranging the grooves so they knit together. You know, and you need that in a writing partnership. You know,
totally.
It's good to bounce stuff off each other for sure.
What do you think is the most important element of music people should be focused on as a player and as a listener?
Wow.
There's so many distractions to me nowadays in music. You know. People coming out in these crazy outfits and, you know, and these crazy light shows, and I think it detracts from the music a lot, you know, so.
You know, everyone's got a gimmick. We've never been gimmick guys.
Right.
But, hey, some of that stuff's pretty cool, too. You know?
Some of it's pretty cool.
I love a lot of it. And sometimes if it takes that to get people interested in what you're doing.
And great musicians are, 99% of the time, they're great people. You know, they just happen to be playing this instrument or that instrument, you know.
That's right.
And Chris keeps saying the word truth, and that really does kind of, that's on top of, you know, song and musicality. You know, a great song played with a flute or a symphony, you know, it's going to be a great song.
You know, and you know, as far as your question, again, people a lot of times, you know, musicians analyze stuff. Wow, that's really excellent what they did there, and then, boy, they moved to the so-and-so, and the, you know, that's cool, and I guess that gets appreciated by those people. But you know, a lot of people out there, they just know what they like. What was it, Basie or Ellington said, if you like it, then it's good.
Yeah, if it sounds good,
that's all there's to it. You know, it can sound like anything, but you know, it's usually the truth is what they're picking up on. That's all it is.
Not to mention it puts that, you know, it gets your neck moving.
Yeah,
you know?
Our truth is a little more funkier and soul driven, but that's what we grew up listening to.
It's pretty deep being accountable for the sounds you put out in the air. If you really think about it, it's a heavy thing, you know. So put out what you really believe in.
Yeah.